can hear me. If you can hear me, please say hi or give me some indication, because I'm trying to make sure it's working. See if it's working. So yeah, give me a thumbs up or anything. Hopefully it is working. Yeah, if you can comment or say something. I'm very excited to be here tonight. You might hear my son, he's in the background. He's not asleep yet, so we'll see how that goes. I might need to jump out at some point and do that. I'm just seeing. Live chat, yeah. Okay, hopefully it's working. I haven't had anyone comment yet, but anyway. Tonight we're going to be sewing the Ellie and Mac Henley pocket top, I think it's called, shirt. Oh, Ted, I need you to go to sleep. Don't you love when kids don't play the game? So what I'm going to do is the main part, which is the placket, the front bit, because that's kind of the bit that takes the longest. So I've already cut my pieces out because that was going to take a while. So I've got my pieces. I'm using this cute cookie material that I got from Ruby Jam, obviously. So tonight it's going to be pretty interactive. If you've got questions, please make sure you pop it in the chat box. Oh, great. Stacey says it's working. Thank you, Stacey. So Tamara has given me a $10 voucher to give away. Thank you. So that's up to me to choose who gets that. There's also prizes up for grabs. So for anybody that doesn't know me, I run a group, sewing inspiration channel, I guess, and I teach people how to sew as well. So that's why Tamara's invited me on here, and I have a exclusive sewing channel on Patreon, which is a paid membership subscription service. So for anybody that wants to learn more or really enjoys what I do tonight and wants to be guided on their sewing journey, Tamara has also offered for anyone that signs up to my top tier, which is $12, they get 500 points with Ruby Jam. For anyone who signs up to my second tier, which is $6 a month, they get, I think it was $250. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tamara. And for anybody that signs up to my lowest tier, they get 100. So very generous. Thank you, Tamara. But there's lots of fun things that I put over on my socials. I am pretty active on both Instagram and Facebook, so I really hope that a few of you jump across. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be making a Henley placket on this tonight, so hopefully you can see I've got my camera here and I've got my overhead camera as well. So I'm just trying to see, make sure I can see everything. Yeah, so hopefully it is big enough for you, but I'm going to get started. So I also need to get up my, where did I put my phone? Here. Need to get up the pattern. So who here has trouble reading patterns? Like they get a little bit disheartened because they look at it and they go, oh gosh, that's so, it's in a different language to me. I'm happy to answer questions, so if you've got something that you are a little bit, lost on, please let me know, because I'm happy to help out. So I'm just getting my pattern up. So I've cut out all my pieces, as I mentioned, and then the first step they say is to fold the front piece in half and iron it, but that's essentially just to get your middle point for your placket. So I actually marked it on here in pen when I was cutting it out because I have a projector so that I know that that's the center point. So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to apply our interfacing to our placket pieces. So I've got 2 placket pieces. I'm doing it out of the brown cotton lycra, and then I've got my 2 interfaced pieces as well. Now it is really important that you interface your placket pieces, particularly because we're going to be applying snaps, or if you were putting buttons on even, you really want to give that part of the garment extra stability, because otherwise it can just really fall apart. Like snaps can be quite harsh, I guess, on fabric. When I've not interfaced before, I've had snaps just fall out. I've had them pull through the lycra. Like, it's really important to make sure that you apply interfacing. So I'm actually just applying a normal woven interfacing on this, iron-on woven. It's not a knit one. I'm going to take this over to my iron. And on the wrong side, I'm going to press down my pieces. So I'll press it down and then I'll show you what it looks like. Hopefully it's all making sense so far. What's everybody doing on their Saturday night other than watching me? I told my husband that I was going live and he's like, on a Saturday night, who's going to be there? I'm like, everyone that sews. So as you can see, I've just applied that to that. So I'm going to do that to the other one as well. Hopefully it goes in focus. Hopefully that's more in focus. So I'm going to do that to the other one as well. And then we're going to fold it over again. So I'll do this to the other one. Any Victorians on here today? Make sure you got your vote in. I'll just be glad it's over. Don't have to listen to it anymore. Go to sleep, Ted. Aren't kids fun? Got one in my bed who doesn't want to go to sleep, and the other in his own bed not wanting to go to sleep. Joy of joys. So let's just see. Yeah. Okay. So I've got my two pieces now. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these over and press, and then we're going to fold it over again and press. So I'll do that back over here. I was going to pre-do this part, but I really wanted to show you all what it looked like. So don't be shy too. Feel like you can jump in the chat. I don't know, is the chat working? Are you talking and it's not coming through? The last message I got was from Tamara to say it's working. So I'll just... So I folded the edges over. I folded the edges over, and now I'm going to fold it again in half and press that. So I'm going to have two edges on this side that are all enclosed, and then this side's enclosed as well. Okay, so give this a good press. Okay, can you still hear me? Because nobody is talking to me. I'm starting to get self-conscious that no one can hear me. Alright, so I'm putting this one over here. Just do this. You're all just shy tonight, are we? Come on, Stacey, what are you doing? Carmel? Nisha, what are you all doing? Are you sewing? What are we sewing? I can see you all now. I might have to go and just tell my son to be quiet again, but I will be back. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how these two bits are going. So as you can see, I've got my two bits here and they're all together. It's all nice and enclosed, so I've got my raw edges folded in and then that on both sides. Okay, I believe the next bit. Oh, a wine. That's the dream. I need a wine too. So the next bit is we're going to get our front piece. And I'm going to apply one strip of interfacing down the center of my front piece. So this is just to help give it stability when we've got the placket on there. So I'll just apply this. Oh, sewing room inspiration. Are you trying to talk to your fabrics? I do that. Okay. So we've got this. Okay, Hannah, I am just using a normal woven iron-on interfacing. You can use knit. I tend not to on plackets because I don't want them to really move anyway. I am just going to quickly lie my sun back down, but I will be back in a minute, so 2 seconds. Lie down. Good boy. Lie down. Thrown all 4 out. Awesome. Yeah, ad break. Okay, so I'm back for how long, we'll see. I've ironed my interfacing on here. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to sew in a square around the iron-on interfacing. So if you want to get really like a really good placket, which I guess I should probably do for this, shouldn't I? I'm just thinking out loud. I'm going to get my this and I'll get this. So it's important when you're doing a placket to make sure you're quite precise. So I should teach you the right way. So this one, it's about 1 inch wide. So what I'm going to do, bring it over a little bit so you can see. Can you all see what I'm doing? Oops. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pen and ruler and I'm going to mark 1/2 inch either side of my middle line. And I'm going to draw, because this bit will be hidden, I do it in pen because it doesn't matter. So I'm going to draw 1/2 inch on either side. And then to make sure that I'm getting it really, really nice, so I've got, what's that, 4 7/8 or something. Anyway, as long as I do it the same on the other side. Oh, I didn't. Silly duffer. This one. Okay, and I'm going to draw across here. So I'm going to sew around that line. I'm just doing it in a, what have I got? Stitch length 3 straight stitch. I'm not going to worry about back stitching. And I'm just going down, making sure I get really precise with my point, because that's what gives a Henley placket the crispness, is being very precise with your end points. Hands up if you have sewn a Henley placket before, or tell me, are you scared to sew Henley plackets? Like, what's going on with the Henley placketness? Are you here because you wanted to learn how to do it better, or you're afraid of them? Like, I used to be afraid of them, still am sometimes. So the next step is to measure up 1/2 inch and make a dot in the middle. So here, is that 1/2 inch? Yeah. And what we're going to do is then we're going to cut down to this line. Oh, good, Stacey. I want you to try it after this then. It's a really beautiful pattern, and it's really quite pretty. Like, it's a good pattern. So what I'm doing, I'll just make sure I'm in camera. I'm cutting down that center line to that dot I marked, and then we're going to clip diagonally into the corners of the stitching without going through the stitching. That is really important. Make sure you don't go through the stitching. Okay, so we've done one. And there we go. To the other corner. Phew! Done. Okay. Well, Nisha, you will be able to try it now because I'm showing you how. It'll be recorded so you can go back and check it. Okay, so we've done that. We've done that. So our placket should now look like this. I'm just reading the instructions as I go. This is one that I do have to still read the instructions for. Some patterns I don't have to, but a placket is not something I do very often, so I read the instructions. Okay, so now we're going to flip it over to our very cute cookie crumbles, and we're going to place one of the plackets with the right sides together, aligning the raw edges. So all I'm doing is lining up these raw edges here. I like to clip when I'm using knits because I think it is better than pins. Like, pins tend to leave pinholes. Surprise, surprise. And knit fabrics don't always recover well from that. Okay, so I've got that done. Annalise. My plackets seem to be luck based. Sometimes perfect, sometimes, yeah. I'm the same. Like, to be completely honest, you know, I sew all the time, and I'm probably only just now starting to really get an understanding of when my placket's going to work and when it's not. And a lot of it, I think, comes down to how precise you are. I used to be a bit of a quick and dirty sewer, but as I've become more skilled, I take my time a lot more, and I've got quicker, so my quick and dirty, I can be a little bit more finessed. So it really, if you take your time, you can do well. Okay, so now they want me to turn it over, and I'm going to sew down this line here. Yeah, so I'm going to sew from the corner, and I do not want to go past the bottom of my placket. So I'm going to backstitch a little bit here. And as you can see, you don't need a fancy machine to do this. My machine's from the, what is it, the 70s, I think, or the 60s. It's my aunt's old machine. I love it. I do need to get my machine serviced though. Okay, so backstitch. Oops, need to move my clips. And now I'm just following along that line that I had before. Backstitch at the top as well. Okay. So now it says, I'll bring it over here so you can see. Bring the placket towards the center. Fold the seam allowance over and press well. yeah, so it's going to look like this when we're finished. Okay, so I'm going to give this a good press. That's the other thing, you should really be pressing your plackets. I know sometimes we don't want to press, but some things it is just so important to press, and plackets are one of them. So don't skip this bit. Okay, so now our placket, on the inside it'll look like this, so it'll be nice and enclosed, and then on the outside it'll look like this. So I'm just going to pop a clip at the top here while we're working on the other side. Okay, mark the stitch straight. Yeah, okay, so now we need to mark where the clipped bit stops, which is here. Yeah, all that. Okay, I'm going to just do that from the front anyway, so that I get it nice and clean, because they want you to then sew the placket from the front. Where did I put my pins? Here. So I'm going to get a pin for this one, and so that I don't go past my bottom bit, I'm just going to put a pin here so I know that's where I'm going to. Yeah, creating clothes is lots of fun. So now I'm just getting my machine again, and I'm going to go like this. I mean, this could be a complete disaster. I could end up at the end of this video going, wow, I came on here to learn and I completely messed it up. Hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, just know that plackets can be tricky. Okay, so we've done that. I probably didn't do that as neatly as I'd like, but it's enclosed on the back. I'm going to give it another good press. Hopefully you can't all see my knickers. Okay, beautiful. And now we're doing the same to the other side. So I'll lay it down again. I'll put this sort of to the side, and I'll get my other. Where'd my other piece go? Here. So again, we're laying it with right sides together, lining up the top and clipping it. Clip, clip, clip. And now I'm going to sew down the side again. Again, making sure I'm not going past that clipped bit at the bottom. Just back stitch a little. Oh gosh, I've got a feeling. Did I get it? Phew! My placket was all folded up. That was lucky. You would have got to sit here and watch me unpick. Okay, so we're doing that, and we're going all the way to the end. Anybody have any questions so far? All right, now again, we're going to fold this over and put that there. Now, I like to check at this point what it's going to look like, and I think this is where I decided last time was your opportunity to really make it look nice, I'm using a cotton lycra caramel. Oops, that's nearly falling. So I'm going to put this here and have a quick drink. Yep, so this is a cotton lycra, which is another reason why I have used the stabilizer, because otherwise it's going to move. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these little bitty bits off. To get a placket really nice, fold down your little triangle bit. The one we've already sewn is going to be the back. And then I'm going to lay this on top. And I think what I decided last time was, if it's not sitting nicely, making the top one a tiny bit smaller actually made a big difference. So let's have a look. So I've just folded that over a little bit more. And let's have a look at what it looks like. So I've got a feeling my placket stretched a bit. So that's there. We have that there. So that placket's going to be not too bad, I think. So let's have a look what it's going to look like. If I put a clip at the top and we lay it out. So as you can see, it's not too bad. It's not perfect, and I like perfect, but even just doing a bit of fiddling, so I've just pulled that triangle flat down a little bit just to see what it's going to look like. Oh, look at that. Quite happy with that. I think that's going to look good. But yeah, this is the part where it really, if you're precise with your sewing and the initial square around it, it makes a big difference. So what do we think? Are we happy with this? I can see this isn't folded in either, so let's just tuckaroo that bit in. Would you girls be happy with that placket? Thanks, Tamara. So yeah, so I actually did end up like finger pressing that top one just like a mil smaller than what the bottom one is, because I think that helps get it closer. Like if I had it bigger, it would really like be all trying to get in there and it's not nice. So I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do, because we do sew it from the front, don't we? I am going to take this. This is where it can mess up though. You've got to be careful because I've had it mess up on me before. You can glue that down if you want to. I think I've got cheap bias binding. I don't know if you can do a placket with bias binding actually. I've never done one before. So I'm just going to get some glue. It's So Line glue. I'm pretty sure Tamara sells this. You can tell in the comments, Tamara, if you do, but I'm 99% sure that you do sell So Line stuff. So it's just fabric glue. You can also use double-sided tape, which I'm a big fan of when installing zippers, especially in knit garments. So again, I'll just fix that up, make sure it's all pretty. Oh, just like I bought one. See this bit here? That's annoying me, but I'm just being picky, aren't I? Like, most people would be ecstatic with that placket. So I'm also just going to put a clip on our little underbit here, just to make sure it's all nice. Now, to sew this, I need to make sure I've got everything out of the way. I might actually have to take that clip out. That's annoying. It's going to get in my way. Oh well. So I haven't used pins because I used my sew line. So I might even hand crank this bit on because I want to make sure I get it like perfect. So I'll do a couple of hand stitches and then I'm going to go back a couple. Now I can go forward. So I'm just going nice along the edge. I'm just top stitching back and back. Great. Okay, so I've done that bit. Let's check again how we're looking. Do we have any questions about this step? So this will, once we get to sewing that bit down, we'll just fiddle around with this bit. So I might even sew line. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on my triangle so that once I'm happy with where it's sitting, I can press it down. Okay, so give that a good press. All right, let's look at our next step. So we've done that, fold the placket, yeah, press 12, pin or clip, done that, yeah, holding onto the triangle, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, okay, so now they're saying from the wrong side of the bodice, pin or clip together and sew a straight line across. So I'm going to fold this up. This is the bit that really scares me because this is the bit that I stuff up sometimes. So we all saw how beautiful that placket was before, don't we? So if all else fails, we know I got it right at that bit. So I'm going to just put this stuff to the side. So I want to try and get as close to that placket, that triangle line as possible. Might do some hand cranking again just to make sure. And then I'll back stitch. And I'm going forward. Oh, I get nervous at this bit. So I worked so hard to make it look beautiful. And then it goes, no deal. Moment of truth, let's have a look. Ah, my happy girl. And I haven't even got a wine in my hand. Who had the wine? Stacy? You need to hook a sister up, okay? Okay, so I'll clip all those bits off. We now have, look at that beautiful placket. So pretty. This pattern also has a pocket. I decided not to do the pocket for this. Or did I? Did I cut a pocket out? Oh, I did. Do you ladies want the pocket? Let me know in the comments. And if you want the pocket, I'll do it. I'm just going to read ahead for the pattern. If you want the pocket, it'll look something like that. Could probably like put it there maybe. No, I'll just have the cookie. Yeah, tell me if you want the pocket and I'll do the pocket. If you don't want the pocket, I won't do the pocket. Okay, so we pin or clip it closed. Oh yeah, they want us to just do that little bit. Okay, while I do this next bit, and you don't want the pocket, I don't know why I bothered asking. That's okay. So the next bit they do want us to do, you know how like Henley plackets have a little like square here? So I'm just going to do that little square, and that just helps keep it all together. Okay. So we'll go there. I kind of wing the pocket, the square bit. I don't know if you meant to like measure it or not, but I don't. That's where I mean I'm a little bit of a quick and dirty sewer at times. And knits are just so much more forgiving than wovens. I am a woven lover, like I don't just sew knits. I'm comfortable in either, but knits are just that little bit more forgiving. Which is why it always surprises me when people say, oh no, knits are scary. I'm like, no, knits are easy. Okay, so the back is looking a little bit like a dog's breakfast, but we will tidy that up. When I get my overlocker up here in a minute, I will sew across the bottom there just to neaten it up. I think I've got a bit of birds nesting, hopefully it's all right. And then from the front, we'll do this. Oh, look how cute it is. It is looking quite cute, isn't it? Okay, can everybody see okay? Like, is the lighting all right? I'm just wondering if that might be a bit better. Anyway, okay, so now I'm going to do the pocket. So I've got my pocket piece. I'm going to take it over to my iron and I'm going to fold the top down about 1/2 inch, I think it is, and press it. Wovens are scary. No, they're not, Carmel. Did you have a look at this month's Patreon tutorial? That was all woven. I expect to see your Kinjarling. So if anybody has any questions about the Patreon, I'm also happy to answer them. But in a nutshell, I do an exclusive Patreon only tutorial each month. I do a live question and answer depending on your level, depends on how many you get. The next one I think is going to be on Monday at 1 o'clock. I've got to set that up where I can answer questions. For the top level, they also get a mini episode about a sewing tip, technique, or term. Term, technique. It's a lot of T's. So yeah, so I help out with that. This month it was 5 different ways to finish your woven seams. Last month was how to twin needle. So you can access those after the month is gone, but I do have sponsors for the month as well. So I'm just gonna, I've done that, so I've sewn it down. I don't know which one's better to show. But now I'm going to take that to my iron press. So press, and then up and up. Okay, so yeah, so you get, last month was the twin needling. Every month I have a sponsor. So it could be a fabric sponsor, it could be a pattern sponsor. You might even see Ruby Jam pop up at one stage. I also have some bag accessories lined up, and they offer my patrons an exclusive discount for that month. So if you want to sign up this month, we do have a sponsor on board, so you can jump on my socials and have a look at that. But I have all my sponsors lined up until I think it's April next year, so I've got some really good sponsors lined up, and I've got heaps that I actually want to talk to, and a lot of them are Aussie sponsors, so it's always good to support the Aussies. Okay, so I've got that there. I have pressed all that. Now I can do that. So I'm actually going to use the sew line glue again and just push that down. Actually, I think I did the other side first, didn't I? So if anyone has any questions about Patreon, I am happy to answer them. The top tier is $12 a month, the middle tier is $6 a month, and the bottom tier is $3 a month. I've had really good feedback so far. Anybody that's in the chat and watching are more than welcome to talk about it. But yeah, I'm looking at some additional things for it next year as well, some sort of extra support that I'm trying to implement. Because I really just like to make sewing fun, and I want people to make garments that they're proud of, you know, like That's ultimately what it's about for me. Okay, what do we think about the little cookie? I don't think I want his eyes because that's going to be too far down. I think I'm just going to just have the top of the cookie like poking out of the top so that my son can be like, ooh, cookie. You happy with that? So then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to get double-sided tape for this one. So I find it sticks a little bit better. So I've got some double-sided wash away tape. Tamara, I'm not sure if you stock this. If you do, can you just let me know in the comments? But I'm just going to pop some tape here. And this just helps give the needle some stability as well when it's sewing it. So I find I get a nicer top stitch on knits when I've got like some double-sided tape, which is what I use when I'm attaching zips in so Tamara's got it as well. It's what I use when I attach zips to knit fabrics. Don't even bother trying to do it without it. Honestly, it just does my head in, because knits obviously stretch when you're sewing a zip in. If you want to lose your confidence in sewing, sew a zip in without double-sided tape. So, I'm just going to line it up, make sure I'm happy. Oh, look. Does that look straight to everybody? Hope so. Cute! It's probably a little bit close to the placket, like closer to the placket than I would have liked, but it'll be okay. So again, oh, I'm on the wrong foot pedal. Got 3 pedals under here. So I'll go back and forth. I generally have 2 machines set up at once. Oh, it's caught a little bit. But when I'm filming, I put it down to 1, just so I've got extra space. Okay. Especially when I've got the overhead camera set up. Do you like the style of this, like with the overhead camera and the front-facing camera? I'm very interested in feedback on that, if anybody has any. So this is just caught a little bit. Okay, done that. Bought a cookie. Oh, cookie. That's funny. Sorry, Cookie. Love dogs. My dog's somewhere. It's raining here in Melbourne. Of course it is. So he does not like the rain and he's inside somewhere. Okay, so should put all that in the bin. I had a little bit of a catch there. I'll steam it and see if it comes out. It's not too bad. So, yeah, it'll be okay. So there we go. That's that bit. What's the time? 9:13. I think I've been on for, what's that, 50 minutes. I'm happy to keep going if people want to watch, or if you have to jump off, that's fine. But that is essentially the placket. So what I will then do then is to add my snaps, and I'll put it all together. I'll just keep going. If you have to go, then you can go. I'm going to swap machines now. Get my overlocker. And of course, it's fallen down the back, hasn't it? Alright, so I'll set my overlocker up. I'm going to swap out my left needle with a green. What colour green? So this is a bit of an industry trick. This is a bit of an industry trick to swap out your left needle, because you know with overlockers how they often, like, you can see some of the needle, like some of the threads. So by swapping out your left needle, you don't get that showing anymore. So I'm going with a green. Maybe a mint would be better. Mint doesn't really matter, but no, I'm going to go this way. Okay, so I'll thread up my left needle. Who loves their overlocker and is comfortable threading it? Tell me what overlockers you have, actually. I'm always interested. I would like to get a baby lock, but I just got a baby lock cover stitch, which my husband likes to remind me cost more than his first car. So I don't think I'm getting one anytime soon. Come on. But I have a Janome 644D, and it is honestly such a workhorse. Like, it's a brilliant, brilliant machine. What have you got, Tamara? Oh no, you're talking about the buttonhole spaces, yeah. But what do you have as an overlocker? What does everybody have? A lot of people have said I should get an industrial, but I don't really think I have the space. Plus, I like to be able to show home sewists. Okay, so that's all threaded up. So now I'm going to get my back piece and lay it down. Match up our shoulders. And if I was a good girl, I would clip, but I'm not going to. A tickle in my throat. Show me air thread. Is that one of the new ones? Excuse me. I'm down the wrong way. The Aldi special, is that the sterling? I think Stacey said she's got a sterling too. So we'll do this, and then I might do the neckband next. Okay, so alright, we've done our shoulders. So now we should be able to do our neckband, which I'll have to read that bit. Let's have a little look-see. So we've done the pocket, front to back. Okay, they want to do the sleeves, but I'll do that after. Neckband. Okay. Oh yes, that's right. So we've got our neckband. I'm hoping this is the neckband for this one. I cut out 2 garments last night in preparation. Like, one I need to do, it's a strike for someone, and this I needed to cut out as well. And I'm using this brown in both, so I'm really hoping this is the neckband for this one. So what you're doing is you're folding it in half, wrong sides together, so you'll have the right sides out. You want to just get that point sort of there, and I'm going to give it a good steam press. Yeah, I got those machine mats from you actually, Tamara, and I got them when I was sewing out in the lounge room, because my husband used to complain that sewing is loud, which it is. But by the time I got my machine mats, I moved into my current office, so I never got to see. But I sew, like, the kids' room is right next door, and they've never complained. Like, I sew till midnight some nights and it doesn't wake them up, so I'm giving this a really, really good press. Yeah, I do love the machine mats. Okay, so that one a bit mangled, so I might just clip So they want us to get our piece and they want to kind of follow the curve. So I'm going to, because I think then it goes, I'm going to actually do, like, put it over a tiny little bit. So I think from memory it works better that way. So then we just kind of like bring it up. Now if you want to be really precise, oh, I should have actually, hold that thought. I'm going to put this in half, find the center back, and put a pin in it. It's not quite, the raw edges on the line. Okay. And then I'm just going to quickly find the back of this as well. And then I can line up my back. Put my clip in it. I like to use the pins to like get precise bits, but then I use the clips for the other bit. So that will go there, and then I'm going to bring this around to here, making sure it's all straight. Yeah, I'm just going to put that, like I'm talking not even 5 mil out, like 3 mil across. Because I think I remember when you sew it and you flip it up, it looks much neater if you do it that way. So we'll see. If it doesn't, well, don't listen to me and just do it how it says in the instructions. So I'll put that there, and then I'm just going to gently stretch that. Put a clip here, this side as well. Stretch this. Who now feels more confident to do a Henley placket now that it has been demonstrated? Put this here. Okay, at this point I also like to put in one of my labels. I cut one out and of course it's gone missing. Oh, here it is. Oh really, you don't like clips? That's interesting. Do you sew with a lot of knit, Annalise? So I'm pretty sure I cut out a 2T, so I just write that down, and then I will put this here at the back. Beauty. So now I'm going to attach it all. Yeah, good. Well, we want to see what you did, Stacey. Do you follow me on social media? I would love if you tagged me in your make. So this bit, again, because I want to get that tiny little bit over, I'm just going to, I often don't lift the presser foot, but I'm going to for this and just gently sort of ease it on. I'm on the wrong foot again, wrong pedal. I was going so gently and then it didn't do anything. Going around, and then what was I going to say? It's gone. Oh, if I wanted to be ultra precise, you could also baste it on with your sewing machine first, which I might have done if it was easy to like swap my machines around, or if I had both up here, but because I've already taken it down, I can't be bothered bringing it back up. So I'll do this. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I like clips on knits. Like, I just think it's much easier. So there you go, each to their own. Okay, now we're coming to the end little tricky bit. Making sure that's there. And I'm just holding down the little edge bit. I don't know if you can see it in the overhead. As I go through, don't cut yourself. So I just want to... Okay, so now when I fold that out of the way, so I can put that back. And then what we do is we top stitch this. So, excuse me. So if we have a look, I'll put a little clip here so that you can see. And then the other side, because we'll give this a good press. And put that out of the way. Oh, it's looking so good. So it's going to look like this. So I'll give it a really good press, and then I will top stitch around there to top stitch the seam allowance down, and it will look super good. So I will quickly fly through the rest of it, because then I'll get my other machine up and we can finish off. So the sleeves, you just get the right side, which is always the like one with the lines in it. Where's my clips? Shoulder, and then here. So put that together. On the right foot pedal, good. I like to use my cover stitch for hemming, but not when I'm doing a neck band like that. Like I will use my sewing machine. So just whiz around this. One side, do the other side. How's it looking, do we think? Do we like it? I'll have to get photos tomorrow maybe with my son. I've actually done an incredibly cute polo shirt for him, which is going on sale at Ellie and Mac next week, although I think it's on sale this week anyway for the Black Friday sale. So, but it looks really good with the octopuses, the Ruby Jam octopuses. Super, super cute. But this pattern is on sale at Ellie and Mac at the moment for $3 USD, I think. So I will pop my affiliate link, excuse me, for anyone who is so inclined to use them. And affiliate links are basically like a way to thank the person that you were inspired from. So an affiliate generally means they get a bit of a kickback. For patterns, it is usually, like I'm an affiliate for a few companies, it's about 12 cents in the dollar. So, you know, it doesn't cost you, the customer, anymore. But if you buy the pattern through my link, I get 12 cents per dollar of that sale. So, you know, it might not seem like much to you, but over time it adds up. And obviously it costs me money in fabrics and time to put these things together. So it's just a nice way to thank the artist that you enjoy being inspired by, I guess. All right. So now I'm going to sew down the sides. And the first thing I always match up is my underarm seams, because I'm a bit of a like, I'm really picky about it. So I like to make sure I just match up the arm seams. And then I should pin it down, but I don't. So I'll just whiz that through. Down, down, down. Okay, one side, nearly done. Was the placket easier or harder than you envisioned? Yeah, I really think that, thank you, Mandy. I really think that little trick about making the top one a mil or two smaller is a bit of a game changer when you're trying to make the placket sit flat, because it just helps it look a bit nicer. Okay. Da 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 da. Look at it. Don't need that anymore. Don't need those anymore. Don't need any of that anymore. Oh, look at those underarm seams. Oh, yeah. Fabric pawn. That's what I like. So, look how cute that's looking. We've got a little pocket. We've got this. So I'm just going to swap machines again. To my trusty old Brunino. Whoops, stuff flying everywhere. And now, what I'm going to do is top stitch this down. So I want to top stitch, and I'm going to pull this to the back so that it's sitting out, and I'll clip it, like I'll clip the trims later. The what are they called? Threads. But I want to get this really nice. So again, I'm actually going to hand wind this first little bit on, and I want to get it like 2 mil ish from the edge. So what I often do is I pick a point on my machine, on my foot. I'm on the wrong one again. Like I line something up on my machine, and then I will use that to kind of guide me to get it nice and even. Okay. Let's have a look. And who has gone shopping in the Ruby Jam 20% off sale? I still need to put my order in, but I will be going shopping tonight. Okay, so we're going around, and like I said, I'm just using the edge of my foot to kind of line up the edge of the shirt to get a nice even top stitch. So lay that down, bring it around. Okay, coming up to the other end. Yeah, it's very easy, this part. Well, I think it is anyway, so I'll just put that in there. Go over here. Okay. Now, where's my little scissors? Ah, looks good. Trim all this up. So that just helps it sit a bit flatter. Might just give it a quick press actually. Yeah, it really does make a huge difference. Top stitching. Can I see close up the top stitching? Yep, can do that for sure. Yeah, top stitching on a neckband is massive. It just makes such a big difference. Okay. So let's have a look. So just make sure you can see that. So that is the front. Oh, it's all out of focus, isn't it? I wonder if it's going to be better if I show you on this one. Let me see. Yeah, anyway. Let me know if this one's any better. I can take photos and put them in the group as well. But that is the top stitching. So let me know if that was okay, Mandy. But that is our, what's it called? T-shirt done. So obviously we still need to hem the sleeves. But I'm going to do that on my cover stitch because I like the look of a cover stitch. So I'm just going to do that. But hopefully you all learnt something tonight. And now I will, if you're all happy to stick around for like 5 minutes, I'll do my snaps as well. Alright, so we can either do brown or we could do gold, like the cookies. Yeah, you want to make sure you're holding down the seam. Green. Green. Oh, this is tough. I don't know, what are we thinking? I don't think I like the brown. I don't think I like that one. I think it's probably between the gold and the two greens. Okay. Top, middle, gold. Put these two away. What's the verdict? Top green, top green. We've got 2 top greens. 3 top greens. Looks like the top greens have it. Middle, coming in. Brown, top green. Alright, top greens have it. Decision made. One of each, no. I'm not a big fan of rainbow unless it's like proper rainbow. Okay, top green. So I'm going to do 3. Or am I going to do 2? I don't know. No, 2. I'm going to do 2. So I need 4 caps. I need 2 female and 2 male. Alright, get down my press. I'm actually super lazy and have 2, one with the male and one with the female pieces. So that I don't have to change the dies over. Okay, so now get my awl. I'm going to do one here, so I just push it through. So put my top. How many people have put their wrong pieces on, like done it the wrong way? Or... Okay, it's a nail. So annoying to try and get snaps out when you've done it wrong. Okay, that's that. The worst ones are actually metal ones. Try really hard to never do the wrong metal ones because they are super hard to get out. Okay, so that's our top one. It's looking cute. And then I'll go, yeah, there. That through. Do that there. I like to put the male on top as well. I don't know if others have a preference, but I prefer the male stud on top. There's that one, and the last one. Our female. Pop that in there. There we go. Put that over here. So, like I said, I'm going to cover stitch the hem and sleeves. I've got a little bit of stitching showing there from where I did my initial one, so I'll probably just get the unpicker, just fallen on the floor, and just unpick those couple of little bits, but you know, it's for my son, so it's pretty good. But hopefully you all learnt something tonight. Like I said, Tamara has given me $10 to give away, so I will go back and see who I thought contributed a lot and let you know who won that. And also, as I mentioned at the start, for anybody that wants to join my exclusive online sewing channel, if you join the top tier you get 500 points. Tamara will add 500 points to your account. That's only till Monday. The middle tier I think it was 250 points, and the bottom tier was 100 points. And it's a really fun community over there. I've got about 31 women in there. I think they're mainly women. It doesn't have to be women, men. And I just try to help make sewing fun and, you know, maybe not easy, because I think there are skills that require work, but enjoyable. Like I love sewing. I hope you saw tonight how much I love doing it, and I just love teaching people. I love showing you what to do. So I'd love to see you over in my Patreon community. I'll pop a link in the live as well for anybody that wants to check it out. Always happy to answer any questions about it as well. So hopefully you got something out of tonight. Hopefully you all get something in the 20% off sale this weekend. Thank you to Tamara for asking me to come in and show you all. What are we at? Just over an hour. Hopefully you're all still awake. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. I'll probably finish this off. We'll see. My children, I think, are asleep. I haven't heard from them for a while, so fingers crossed. But yeah, hopefully you found that enjoyable, and I hope to see you over on my socials at the very least. Sew and Tell Australia on Facebook, at Sew and Tell AU on Instagram, and my YouTube channel is also Sew and Tell Australia. So yeah, thank you for playing along. Thank you for interacting with me. Sometimes it is a bit hard. It's just me talking to myself, so I get very comfortable with the sound of my own voice. So enjoy your evening, and I will see you all in the Insta world or the Facebook world. Good night.